Matrixx and Roadshow fans, we are back with another video, and we're going to be talking about Interview with the Vampire, the woke TV show that will be on AMC's streaming services. Now, I was actually debating whether or not to actually watch this show just for the sole purpose of doing reviews for this channel here. I believe it's going to be a woke disaster, but will I watch it just for you guys? Yeah, I'll watch it for you guys so you guys don't actually have to watch it, even though we know this looks like it's going to be a disaster. So I will bite the bullet for you guys if you want me to. And I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy my commentary on the show. This is Interview with the Vampire in name only. It's not going to really follow the book. And we got some concerns here, and I'll address that in several other videos also. But the executive producer even brings up a few things that is kind of concerning, guys. I believe that he has lied. I do. But check this out. Interview with the Vampire TV series, everything we know so far. It says the wait is almost over, Anne Rice fans, because AMC's Interview with the Vampire is finally due to drop this fall and will surely satisfy our lone thirst. Really? For the past couple of years, fans have been teased with the many failed attempts to adapt Rice's popular vampire series, The Vampire Chronicles. At one point, Hulu was going to develop the series, but quietly dropped the rights after potential showrunners exited the show. But then those projects fell through, and Rice was able to gain back the rights to her novels. All was lost until AMC acquired the rights to a couple of Rice's famous works 2 years ago. The vampire hype was reignited again, and production was underway to adopt all of the books from the series by season, beginning with Interview with the Vampire. Now, there's a bunch of books here in The Vampire Chronicles. Does that actually include Vittoria the Vampire, which is actually New Tales of the Vampire? Does that include Blood Canticle? Does that include Merrick? Because Merrick Mayfair does turn into a vampire, even though she's a part of the Mayfair witches family. But they kind of intertwine anyway. Now, guys, I'm actually listening to Interview with the Vampire on audiobook to refresh myself on the actual content that Anne Rice actually wrote in 1976. Now, I love the movie. I really do. That is a very good version of the novel. Now, of course, in the novel, man, it goes much, much deeper. Will this TV show actually dive into Revenant? You guys know what the Revenants are. They're kind of like the mindless vampires. The movie never touched on that. Also, the terrible movie Queen of the Dam didn't touch on it either. So there's more characters in the book, and you would actually think that a TV show could actually implement a lot more of the characters than in a movie, like Babette Frenier. Will the Freniers actually be in this? Don't know, but it's going to be so different anyway, guys, that we'll get more into it. It says throughout the month, AMC has released stills and a teaser trailer that offers a glimpse into the Gothic vampire show. The first adaptation of Rice's novel was released in 1994 and starred Brad Pitt as Louis and Tom Cruise as Lestat, the two vampire leads. It was followed up with a loose sequel. I wouldn't call it a loose sequel. In 2002 with Queen of the Dam that starred Stuart Townsend as Lestat and the late princess of R&B Aaliyah as Akasha. This new series is expected to divert itself from the previous films and explore those vampires' enticing yet lonely lives. Now, here's the thing. Queen of the Dam was a terrible movie, but at least it was actually set in the right time period. You know, I believe that this Interview with the Vampire series, like I said, it's Interview with the Vampire in name only. It doesn't even look like it's really going to be much in the 1700s because Louis is running a brothel. Looks like the 1920s, if you ask me. Crazy. But anyway, the first season will closely follow the first novel, Interview with the Vampire. It will focus on Louis de Pointe-de-Lac, a vampire who tells the story of his 200-year-old life to an eager journalist named Daniel Malloy, who is looking for a second chance to turn his life around. In the show, Daniel is placed in the modern day as a college professor struggling in his personal life and career. He jumps on the chance to interview Louis to allow him to write something groundbreaking. So this guy, guys, is actually going to be like a 60-year-old man. Not David Talbot. Now, David Talbot in the book is going to be an old man. I don't know if David Talbot is in this. Daniel is supposed to be like a 20-something-year-old guy that goes around recording life. He's not a college professor, but they had to deviate from this. Now, another thing, the series will follow Louis' story and how he went from a plantation owner living in Louisiana to becoming a vampire after meeting the cunning and sinister vampire Lestat de Lioncourt. In search of a companion, Lestat offers him immortality by joining him through his travels around the world. Lonely and distraught, Louis agrees to be his immortal ally and is made into a vampire that night, even though in the book he wasn't a vampire that same night. However, it doesn't take him long to become repulsed by Lestat's true nature after he sees the way he feeds off of people. Now, here's the thing. Mark Johnson, an executive producer of the show, promises that the show will remain faithful to the books, even though changes will be made to bring this story to the present day. Yeah, how in the world are you going to be faithful to the book? Now, check this out. The show will mention the COVID-19 pandemic by placing Daniel as a professor teaching online classes because of the virus. That's not in the book. Wow. Check this out, guys. AMC's Interview with the Vampire series is making some big changes from the book. But right here, this producer says the show will remain faithful to the books. But there's big changes here. Yeah. You guys are being duped. Okay? Duped. Like it says here, Daniel Malloy, this is from last year, will be one of the lead characters in the Interview with the Vampire series. And casting is rumored to be looking for a 60 to 70-year-old man. And is open to ethnicity. Now, they did get a white guy. And I can't remember the name of the actor that's actually playing him. But he's in his 60s. That's not being faithful to the book. The show's other lead character, Louis de Pointe-de-Lac, will also go through some changes from page to screen, with casting looking specifically for a 33-year-old black actor for the role, even though Louis is not black in the book. Now, I know they mentioned something about being Creole, but Creole doesn't necessarily mean that you are a black man. It doesn't mean that at all. In the book, it makes it pretty clear that Louis is a white guy. Now, if you want to jump into the book of the Matrixx novel where he goes into the sun and he kills himself and he's brought back stronger than ever and he has that dark tan, he's probably like my color now. Yeah. But if you're basing this off of this book here, no. It says, quote, although Louis appears to be 33 years old, he is in truth 146. Actually, if you read the book, he's 24 when he becomes a vampire. Wow. But jumping back to this, guys, we already mentioned the cast here. This is Jacob Anderson from Game of Thrones. This looks like in the 1920s. And guess what, guys? He's running a brothel. It says changes were made to the casting as creators were seeking out a black actor in their 30s to take on the role of Louis. He will be an owner of brothels rather than a plantation owner from the books. So let me get this straight. It just said here that he was actually talking about his life from a plantation owner to becoming a vampire. But right here, it says that he would be the owner of brothels rather than a plantation owner. I don't get this. Are they saying that he will always have been a brothel owner rather than owning a plantation? Now, in the books, he didn't own a brothel. He didn't. But anyway, young newcomer Bailey Bass will take on the part of the precious young vampire, Claudia, who in the book is like 5 years old. Kirsten Dunst played her when she was 10. Bailey Bass is in her 20s. Now, from what I understand, Bailey Bass is working in the brothel. This is insane. This is crazy, guys. But that's what we know so far about Interview with the Vampire, in name only, I should say. Wow. I'll bite the bullet for you guys so I can do a review on this series. I can already tell you I'm not going to like this. I'm not going to like this. Like I said, I'm doing an audiobook right now. Listening to it. I never really listened to audiobooks before, but I do like listening to this book on audiobook. I do. I'm up to the point now to where Claudia and Louis are at the Théâtre des Vampires. They met Armand. They met Santiago. Some on that part there. And I can't wait to finish the rest of it because I love that book. The Vampire Lestat is actually the best book. I'm probably going to listen to that one next. I love that book. So that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Matrixx and Rhodes Show fans, Interview with the Vampire. I'll bite the bullet for you guys because I appreciate my audience. This is what we got to do with creators. Sometimes we have to watch things that we don't want to do so you guys don't have to. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.